Hello my friends and welcome to another pick a card reading. I hope you're all doing really well. And today's pick a card reading is about what people secretly think about you. And I'll also go into what they are kind of hiding from you and what they would like to tell you. So what are people secretly thinking about you? Pile 1, Pile 2 and Pile 3. Timestamps will be in the description box below and I'll see you at your reading. Bye. Hi Pile 1, welcome to your reading. So what are people secretly thinking about you? Let's have a little look. So you've got the Scholar. Okay, so what people are secretly thinking about you is that they think that you are quite studious in some way. They think that you, when you apply yourself to certain things, you take like quite a scholastic kind of view around it. They also see that, you know, you want to find out the details about a situation. You want to approach it in a really kind of structured, and you want to know things about it. You want to give it the benefit of the doubt. You also want to give it integrity, you know. So for example, if you were assigned to a certain project about something, you would do everything you can to like find out as much as you could about it, rather than just kind of go in there gung-ho and just kind of imagine that you knew everything already that you had to know about it. You would swat up on it. And this would be the same thing about people as well. So people think that this is how you take, this is the attitude that you take with life, basically. So let's have a look at some cards that I pre-picked for you. So we've got, wow, we've got a Fair, which is Leo in Venus. Love that. That's really beautiful. Those are some weird wings. Look at those wings. They look really weird. Anyway, and it's very like, I don't know. It's weird because this isn't like a kind of normal color scheme for this for this deck, but yeah, I'm not complaining. Not complaining. And then for your astrology, we've got last quarter moon and it's reversed. Okay. We've got, wow, actions leads to success. And then we've also got, wow, the trial, struggle, despair, and exhaustion. So I don't know. I'm just feeling like earth sign energy here. I'm also feeling like a bit Capricornian energy, but I am feeling earth sign energy with this kind of like Scholar as well. But you kind of really dive in. I don't know if you dive deep, as in like spiritually or anything like that, but you're hardworking. People do not mess with you. Like they think that if they know that if they ask you to get something done, that you're going to get it done. You're going to do it. Now, with this Affair card, there's two things that come up here. It's either that you have an affair with your work. You have an affair with who you are. You really kind of like, you really indulge yourself in the work, and also in who you are. And you kind of have, yeah, you have an affair with work. So you actually make it like something really joyful to be able to make something out of it. But also, I don't know, with these three, I'm just feeling like some people might not value you for as much as they should do, man. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like they think that because they're going to have to up their values to be with you, that it's better that you're just kind of like a side thing, or like a side hustle, or just some kind of like, I don't know. I mean, I just feel like you are the real deal, right? Pile 1. You're this beautiful, amazing being that is so passionate and dedicated. That's what I can see here with this action leads to success. You are just so driven, and people, they cack their pants at that. You know what I mean? Like they really, they kind of like feel that they can't live up to that standard. And it's almost like it's a very beautiful thing, but it's almost like they can't live up to the standard of that, which is, in my opinion, it's a rubbish excuse. But do you know what I mean? Like they think that it's not. And then you wonder, like, you know, why? Because you're doing, you feel like you're doing everything that you can. You're being honest with yourself. You know, this is upright. So it's almost saying that you're actually being true to yourself in the respect of love. The only thing I would say is don't compromise yourself for any people that don't really, like, deserve your love. Because that's their problem and not yours. Do you know what I mean, pile one? Because you're pretty incredible. Do you know what I mean? Like, no, there's not many people who I see that you know, you have knowledge in all areas. I don't know why, like people are intimidated by you, full stop. That's what I'm seeing here. Now we've got here last quarter. Last quarter is, so I think that what's going on is that people are thinking that they can't live up to you. And it's easier to go with something that has a lot less expectation. But the thing is that you don't even have expectation. You just show commitment, like on a really fundamental level. And that's really intimidating for people. So it's that whole thing where people would rather go for people who are easier for them. And I'm talking about friends. I'm talking about, you know, people around you. And I wouldn't be surprised if some people have said to you, like, lower your standards. And I think you have. I think you have lowered your standards. But it's also got to the point where there's this kind of like struggle, despair, exhaustion. There's this thing where it's like, what else do I have to do? Like, what is it that I have to do? Not to get people to like me, but to, I don't know, not to please people, but it's almost like your true self is very intense for them to take. And I don't know, that's how really incredible people are made, you know? Like, I think you're formidable, pile one. I think you're amazing. It's their problem, not yours. Let's have a look at this. So what, that's what people are secretly thinking about you. They're secretly thinking that about you. They're thinking that you intimidate them. They admire you, like, massively. They think you're amazing. They think that you're fantastic, but they're like, I don't really want to get involved in that. Or I don't really want to be too close to that, because if I am, then that means that I'm going to be face to face with my own insecurities. And then all of a sudden, and then you're giving them all this love, be that in a friendship or whatever. It doesn't have to be romantic. It can be a friendship, and then it just intimidates them. So then it just feeds you into that place of where you're going into success, and then you kind of like put it into your library of learning and understanding about people. But there's a lot of pain here. So let's see what the cards have to say. So I said that I'd see what they secretly think about you, what they're keeping from you, which I kind of already said, and then what would they like to say to you. So let's see, like, we'll think about those questions while I'm doing these cards. Interesting, Daughter of Swords, which is the Page of Swords. Now, the Page of Swords has got like lots of different kind of connotations in it. Physically, right, for me, the card looks like somebody who's not really looking at the sword. If you're not looking at the sword, to me, that says to me that you're not facing your communication. You're not embracing the communication. So I'm going to go with my own meaning of the Daughter of Swords in this reading. And I think that they're not chatting to you about what's going on. It's the only card as well that came up. I'm feeling a bit annoyed, part one, because I'm just like, how dare like people like do that? Like, I just think that why should, if people just had the guts to like allow you to be yourself, because you know it's their own insecurities that are there, and it's not about you being mean. I was listening to something about something from Simon Sinek, who's an incredible he's like a thought leader. I don't exactly know what he is, but he helps businesses and he's helped, you know, loads of businesses within Silicon Valley and whatnot. And he said like there's an ability to be nice, or there's an ability to be truthful, but you don't need to be nasty. And I don't know, that just made me think about my readings and think about the way that I was being, and to make sure that everything that I'm doing with love. So in this respect, I think that personally, I think the people that are surrounding you at the moment, they are not willing to communicate with you effectively, because they're a bit scared of you, because you're this amazing person, and it's almost, I wouldn't be surprised if it's baffling you and you're thinking, why is this happening to me? Okay, so we've got the Two of Wands, Eight of Wands, Nine of Cups, and the Four of Wands. Okay, right. Well, what I can see is that if you continue to just do you and be who you are and go forward, you're going to meet the people that you're supposed to meet. Big time. And the other people that are not supposed to be on your path, yeah, they're not, they won't be there. Because, you know, this is your kingdom. This is, Mars in Aries. This is about you being really strong, decisive, understanding who you are, what your values are, what you stand for, and just really kind of being true to that. So, and then before you know it, the right people are going to come to you, because they're going to see that you're getting what you want by being true to who you are. Now, what's really interesting with this Eight of Wands, I kind of get like a kind of Seven of Wands vibe with this as well, because like there's this one wand that's in the middle. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, there's 8 there. That looks like a wand in itself, to be honest with you. And I've always seen that as like the extra wand. So to me, this seems like you're going to be the lightning strike that's going to help bring all of these things together. The Daughter of Swords is, yes, you could see it as you communicating with other people or communicating with them, but I see that as the people who are not really worthy of communicating with you, they'll go away, and you're gonna really have some really great people to communicate with and to be around. But I think that there's been a sense of like despair that's been going on. So what people secretly think about you, Par 1, is that you're intimidating. You're an amazing human being, and it's almost like you're I don't know if you're slightly ethereal. I wouldn't go as far as like being ethereal. I would say it's more that they're just intimidated, you know? Loads of people are intimidated, a lot more than they would like to say, you know? And I love this card because you've also got like this, which is the full hexagram of the I Ching, which means that means that you've got everything complete. That's really intimidating to people who haven't got themselves together. So you're really sorting out the wheat from the chaff, which is amazing. I love it. I love it. You're a powerhouse, Par 1, and stick to it. Don't compromise for no one, you know. And I don't think you're going to anyway. You're probably saying, well, I'm not going to, you know, so it doesn't matter. But yeah. So what people, let's see what people want to secretly, what they would wish to tell you. Nice, the Three of Wands. I was looking for that because we had the 2, the 4, and now the 3. The 8 of Coins. Wow. You must be entrepreneurs. Yeah, entrepreneurs slash, You know, just hands down, incredible people. Look at that. Look at that. Love it. Love it. Yep. Okay, and for those of you who haven't, who there's no like love, it may come. I think you've been struggling for a while because you've been surrounded by people who don't celebrate you, who don't appreciate you, right? And the thing is, right, is that I think you've been around people who are not, they haven't been your people. So now, now that you kind of, and I think you already know this reading should only confirm what you already know. And then here you've got the 3 of Wands clarifying the 2. So that to me says that the plans that you're making are really going to grow. They're really going to become something a lot more, you're going to start to see some stuff happening, pile 1. And the 8 of Coins, 8 of Wands, which is being clarified here. You're just doing your thing, man. You're just doing your thing. Doing your thing, chilling. You don't need to like worry about anybody else's business and what they're doing. You're just getting on and you are doing you. You know, you're hustling. You're doing your thing. The Magician with the 9 of Cups, you absolutely know like that nobody's going to make this apart from you. Now, I don't know. I just got the pen here. Like, it looks like the nib of a pen, even though it's like a wand. So I don't know. You may be writing something. You may be writing some blog posts. You may be starting up a business or something like that. But the attention that you're putting into this space, even though you may feel quite solitary, is going to be really beneficial to you finding the actual team and the community that you've been looking for. And I'll be honest with you, I don't really see so much as a community. I see more of like 1 or 2 or just a few people, because there's not many people that those types of people, they don't work like in groups most of the time. They might you'll see them managing companies or stuff like that. They work solitary, but they are social. They do that, but they retreat and they do their thing on their own and then they come back out. There are some extroverts that work in that respect. I'm not saying that, but in this particular instance, what I see in the cards is somebody who works, who is coming to terms with the fact that with them working solo, that doesn't mean anything about them, you know. And, you know, you may have felt that you were kind of like a slave to what other people thought about you and how that influenced the way that you decided to move forward. But you're breaking free of that and you're fully embracing your feelings. So what would they like to tell you? What do people secretly think of you? People secretly want to be you. They want to be you because they really, I would go as far as say they admire and they envy. I wouldn't say jealous, because jealous is when you don't want that person to have it. They do want you to have it, but they're envious because they don't feel adequate enough to come up to your standard. So they feel intimidated. And you're thinking about like, and they kind of, they want to tell you that they think you're great. You're really great. And the people who do really think a lot of you, and really feel like they can come up to your standard, they're waiting for the right time to come to you. And they know that you're hustling just as hard as they are. So they're not going to come and interfere with anything that you're doing. They're going to wait until there's a moment that they can come forward and speak to you. So, and communicate with you. Love that, pile ones. Great, cracking start. Wow. So we've got here. Don't know why that went out of focus. That's a bit weird. Don't know why it's doing that. Sorry. Don't know why it's doing that, my friends. Hold on. There we go. So we've got the deer and the oat. The deer and the oat, which is healing. So there's something about you healing, you know, this whole process of healing. Maybe there's been a sense of you not being able to, you know, trying to still fit, like be a round peg in a square hole or vice versa, you know. And this is about you like embracing your antlers And also the whole sense of the oat. The oat is something that's quite hardy. It's really raining outside. It's crazy. It's something that's really kind of wholesome and nourishing. And the deer is also the, you know, the queen or the king of the forest. So I don't know why that's doing that. Sorry, my loves. Let me just double check why that is doing that. Sorry about that part one. I'm just trying to like stop it from doing that thing. And then you've got the knight. Triumph over adversity. I've got a feeling that you're like quite tired. Like you're thinking that you might not have that. Like that you might not have this thing. You might not be able to do that. But trust me, you're doing it. You are doing it. And we've got another one, manipulation, here, which is Saturn in Scorpio. No, sorry, Jupiter in Scorpio. But it's reversed. So what I think about that is that there's this sense of you knowing that, you know, you're going to be truthful about things. You're not going to be manipulated by others in order to feel less than. And you're going to really go forward being who you want to be, really. That's what this is saying. So what do people want to tell you? People want to tell you that, you know, that they're too scared to tell you that then they don't feel like they're good enough for you. And they may never even admit it. They see you as intimidating. They see you as somebody who, you know, is a real powerhouse. Someone who's very admirable. Somebody who's out of their league. But don't worry, because the people who are in your league or who can step up to the plate are the ones who are going to come. And, you know, trust me, there are going to be some like people who are just going to take the chance because they may not think that they're like able to do that. But then they're going to be like, oh, I really like part one. And I really want to get to know them a bit better. So, yeah, I'm going to take a chance. So that's quite exciting, Pile 1. I don't know what's going on with the camera. I'm really sorry. I keep on like looking up and then I look and I can see that that's happening with the camera. So I don't know. I'll have to like double check on the footage. But I hope it will be okay for this reading because this is a great reading. Okay, and then lastly, we have Aldera, which is this. I'm just trying to think, like, why is it doing that? Yeah. Don't know if there's something. Okay, so glorification and invocation. Success is determined by your mindset. Treat your journey with patience. Glorification and invocation. Success is determined by your mindset. Treat your journey with patience. And then that's Mercury and Mars in Gemini and in Cancer. Aldera. So what I'm getting from that is that it's just understanding that you deserve this. You really deserve goodness. You deserve good things. And even if people can't see that, it doesn't matter. Because you are destined for really great things, Pile 1. You are. And I think that you, by staying true to your path and by doing what you're doing, you will end up finding the right people for you. Because right now the people that you're surrounded with, they don't seem to resonate in the same way. I think you might have like a team. There may be like some people that you have around you. Because like with that 4 of Wands, I don't know. I feel like that's coming afterwards. I don't feel like you've got that now because I feel like there's quite a lot of solo cards here. But I feel it's coming. And if you have got that, then that is going to grow stronger. Do you know what I mean? And you're going to get rid of anything that doesn't make you feel okay. Anyway, my friends, I hope you enjoyed that reading. If you liked it, please do give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe for more videos. And I'm sorry about the in and out with the focus. I don't know what's going on with my camera. And I'm going to double check. It might come up and it might not. I don't know. But otherwise, you take care, my darlings. I'll speak to you soon. And remember that honesty is always key. Bye. Hello, Pile 2, and welcome to your reading. So you chose this card here, and we have the Priest. Interesting. So this is how people see you, and what they would secretly wish to tell you. They almost see you as some kind of figure that they could place a lot of trust in. And someone that they have faith in, someone that they can say things to and it not be disclosed to lots of people. You will listen to them. So there may be this idea of you being a counselor or some kind of guide for them. I'm sensing Pile 2. You may be in the counselling services. You may work as a counsellor. You may work as some kind of therapist or something where you do hear and kind of transmute what people say, like the things that they'd come to you for help, basically. They see you as a governing force that they feel that they could put faith in and trust in. So, interesting. Very interesting. So let's have a look at your other cards. So we've got Loss, which is Saturn, and then that's Pisces. We've got Fifth House reversed. We've got Uranus. We've got here magnetism through gratitude. And we've got Three of Cups here. We've got 3 cups, a horseshoe and a turkey. But it was reversed. And then we do also have this, which I'm not going to read reversed. We have the Moon, which is spirituality, mystery, and the divine. Wow. So I don't know, that people might see you as like some kind of mystical, spiritual person. They see you, I think they do see you as spiritual, particularly with that card, with the Pisces, the Saturn in Pisces. I feel like you may work as some kind of reader, or tarot reader, or energy reader, or healer, or something like that. I don't know if you're so much of a healer. I feel like you're the one who kind of, like, it's almost like you help people through your vocation. I'm thinking of it more as a priest. So this would be somebody who would like console and look after the spirituality of the parish. In that respect, this is what you do for people. So people feel like you would be someone that would look after their spirituality. You would be able to cater to the side of their their spiritual side, essentially. Particularly with that Moon card as well, because that kind of says to me that there's something very divine about you, and also very kind of out there. You may be somebody that just kind of stands out on their own and doesn't really, follow the crowd. Also, with this Fifth House reversed, I just got this feeling of abstinence, which is really interesting. But you may have like said no to certain things in order to pursue like a path. It could be that. And I think that's what people think that you've done. People may think that you've kind of abstained from a particular sort of life in order to pursue this particular way of life. I mean, you could even do something like Have you ever heard of doulas? Doulas are, there's birth doulas and there's death doulas. So people who help people transition when they're about to die, and people who help people when they're going to be born, when their babies are going to be born. So that's a very special job. So that's also something that might be here as well. So people see you as somebody who would really take care of them. Magnetism through gratitude. I think I really do feel like there's this abstinence here. There's something where you deny yourself like something, and I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm saying that as in a sense like for example, like you don't go out and get drunk like on the weekends, or like go out and like get wrecked. You put your energy towards something different. You put it towards something very, very special. Particularly with that, and it's like these ones that kind of give me that, and this obviously, but yeah, people see you as a figure that they turn to. And with this magnetism through gratitude, I think that they are grateful for you. People around you are really grateful for you and what you bring to them. Because this horseshoe is facing outwards, and this is almost like holding upwards towards the sky. So it's almost like by the devotion of your faith, and be it faith in whatever, right? You may be, like, as I said, you may be a spiritual worker or someone like that. It doesn't necessarily have to be like committed to any religion, but there's something that really attracts, it magnetizes people to you. It helps people to realize themselves and stay away from like the kind of things that, the kind of entrapments from the kind of day-to-day lives. Not to say that that isn't something that would be great, because if that was upright, I would say that maybe you actually connect through art. Like, for example, I've got a friend of mine, she's like, you know how Facebook is, right? You know, you meet someone and then it'll be years before you actually like, you actually communicate with them. But there's someone I've been in contact with for a long time. I worked with her a long, long time ago, about 10 years ago. And she is a member of the clergy, but then she's also an artist. And she does a lot through her art, because it's a particular type of art, and her art's incredible. If that was the right way up, I would say that that's how you like communicate with your group. You know, I would say that would be an example of that. But with that reversed, it's almost like you were able to show people where there is where their shortcomings are, and they're willing and ready to like take it from you, to be honest with you. Like in part one, they were like, no, it's too intimidating, because it was more entrepreneurial, whereas this is more like of a counselor, mentorship kind of role that I'm seeing here. So people see you as a mentor. They see you as somebody who is quite, I wouldn't say the term holier than thou, but they think highly of you. They think highly of you, Paul. Too. Interesting. Okay, so let's see what the tarot wants to say. So this is what they wish they could say to you. So here in the tarot, I'll be exploring what they wish they can say to you, and yeah, what they wish they can say to you. There was another point, but I can't remember what it is. We've got the Ace of Coins reversed. We've got the Queen of Cups reversed. The King of Pentacles, interesting. Three of Cups reversed. Look, Three of Cups twice reversed. That's really interesting. Okay, and then we've got Five of Swords. Yeah, I think you help people, pile too. You help people feel better about their own situation, and you encourage them not to like kind of go like lose their emotions and keep stable here. You encourage them to draw upon wisdom that's quite paternal. There's something, even though we have the moon here and it is a feminine figure, I am seeing with this King of Coins, there's something very paternal here. Very kind of like the father figure. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be, it doesn't matter what gender you are. It's just a very paternal energy that's coming from you. Because of creation of that stability. You don't really resonate with anything that's going to be like destabilizing female energy. In fact, you know, you probably deal with people that do that, that deal with people who are victim to that or have suffered from that. And you help them to change opportunities into something. You help them to become kings. You help them to go from the ace to the king. Like to remind them of that so that they can go back to the ace and then start again. And I do think that you associate with people that haven't come from very good kind of backgrounds. Disharmonious backgrounds. And with this lost card as well, I just feel like there's been some big stuff that's happened with the people that you deal with, be that in friendships or like in and everybody's got their own stuff, do you know what I mean? It's not like, it's not as simple as that. Everybody's got their own issues, but I just think that you really hold a container and a space for people to be able to work out their stuff. That's what I think you do. And people know that about you and they really appreciate that about you. It's interesting though, I don't see like social situations or like friendships being formed on that basis. Your friends are people that don't see you that way. These are other people. Your friends see you very differently. They know you like this, but they see you very differently. This is to do with the people that, what people secretly think about you, what they would like to tell you. The Five of Swords here means there's something about you not being, there's not defeat. I think you don't give up on people. You don't give up on people when people have given up on them. I think so. And you might do that through something where people try to find the faith in themselves again. And that might be to do with like being in love with themselves again. It's really beautiful, actually. Really beautiful. Let's see what the other cards have to say about this. So what would they like to say to you? I'm hearing thank you. I'm hearing thank you, but it's almost like they don't even know. Like you see things in them that they don't even know. Which is why the Ace of Coins is reversed. They feel like that. They feel like that Queen of Wands. But you kind of give them this King of Coins energy. And it's very... It breaks... It destabilizes them. But it also makes them realize that, that life is not going to give up on them. It's really beautiful. Wow. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if you work with like teenagers or something. And that's what I'm getting. I'm getting like somebody who is a social worker, somebody who like works with people who society has given up on, Wow. Yeah, people that haven't been able to be honest with themselves and haven't been able to be upfront with themselves. And they still aren't, I used to have a friend that really enjoyed working with like vulnerable young adults because, they were the ones who were they were the ones that needed it the most. And that seems to be like what you do. You seem to work with these people. You seem to really revel with these people. And they really appreciate you. They really appreciate you. Yeah, absolutely. Look at that Queen of Cups come up twice. So what's really interesting is that you provide this male energy. This is going to be really confusing. You provide this male energy in a really motherly way. You provide that maternal energy, that paternal energy in a really maternal way. Yeah. In fact, you provide the paternal energy in order for them to stabilize their emotions and start to become honest with themselves. That's what you do. And they want to tell you that thank you for believing in them, basically. Okay, that's slightly reversed. So I'll take it reversed. Interesting, we had that in exactly the same position for pile 1. But with the other deck. Yeah, I honestly think what I'm seeing here is like people who've been involved with like gangs and stuff like that. And you're able to like take them away from that. It's really interesting how that's come across. And if you don't do that, there's something about you being able to like put people onto a path that's really true to them. Even when they're not ready. They're definitely not ready. But they've come to you for a reason. So it's almost like, I'm going to reach out to you and I'm going to help you. They'd like to say thank you for believing in them. Because seems like nobody really did. Wow, the Tower reversed. Yeah, you don't give up on these people. You don't give up on them. I was reading a book. It's called The Realm of Hungry Ghosts, which is by Gabor Mate. And it documents his work with addiction and working in some of the most harrowing parts. I think he worked on Skid Row. I think he did. He worked in a really, really tough part. Yeah, I think he did work in Skid Row. And the stories in there, which kind of told us about, telling us about this whole idea of addiction and about how people are addicted. It was a really incredible thing to be someone who stays there and does that work. And that's what I'm seeing here. Despite that, and you don't compromise yourself. You just know that this is your path. It's crazy. I love it though. Pile 2. It's really it's very altruistic. My heart is like kind of like, wow, you're a formidable pile 2. Okay, so we've got some other cards for you. Okay, so we've got the key. Locked doors can now be opened. So that's reversed. So what I would say with that is that there's still work to be done. And I think you understand that with this sort of work that you're doing, it's something that continues. It never stops, And then we have the sheep and the blackberry, which is devotion. I don't read these upside down. So you're really devoted to what you do. Absolutely. And it's the Hierophant as well, interesting. Or number 5 is the number of the Hierophant. I'm just going to have a quick look in the book of what it says about that, if there's anything extra in there about it. But calls us to focus on our commitments, whether they're to a partner, job, spiritual practice, or tradition. Sheep are innocent and vulnerable, and yet they must be watched over and guided. Blackberries are a symbol of protection with their large brambling thorns, but but then you've also got the symbols of productivity, which is the berries, which is indicative of this King of Pentacles here. Wow. Well, this actually came reversed. And you know what? These cards are saying for me to read them reversed because I think that actually really fits with this. So I'm going to do it and I'm going to read it for you. It says, you can be your own guide. You can be your own guide. Your wisdom comes from within rather than without. And it is your responsibility to impart this gift as a mentor or a teacher. You know, Spirit doesn't make this up, you know. So you are seen as a spiritual teacher, as a mentor. Wow, exaltation. Okay. That's the moon in Taurus. Now, moon in Taurus is that kind of sense of material, you know, goodness and material kind of indulgence. If you have that, you give it to others. There's something very altruistic about you, Pile 2. I'm really like in awe of you. I hope one day I could be more like you in terms of the sense of service that you give to others, because it's really incredible. Really incredible. It's making me feel really, my heart is like clenching up because I feel like there needs to be more people like you in the universe, you know, in the world, because that's what we need. Wow, Vega. Oh my God, virtue and prophecy. Let's see, there we go. Virtue and prophecy. Dance to the rhythm of your spirit. Become one with the universe. I think you're a truly spiritual being, Pile 2. It's in Venus and in Mercury. We've also got it in Capricorn. Vega is an incredibly beautiful star as well. But Pile 2, I think, you know, people want to tell you that they think of you as a mentor and a teacher, and they really respect you. They really respect you. And, you know, you're an example for many people and a mentor. I feel like you're a mentor for most people. You know, you help people to realize that there is still goodness in the world. And that there are people who still care, and that humanity is still very much a thing, you know. Incredible reading. So honoured, Pile 2. Honoured beyond words. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you liked it, please do give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe for more videos. But otherwise, my darlings, thank you so much for allowing me to read your energy. It truly is beautiful. And remember, that honesty is always key. I'll see you soon. Bye. Hello, Pile 3, and welcome to your reading. So what do people secretly think about you, secretly think of you? Let's have a look. Oh, the Sentinel. So they see you as somebody who's very strong, somebody who stands their ground, and also is a defender. You defend values, you defend ideals, you defend things. Very strong. I'm getting like an earth sign. I am getting Taurus. But there is also a sense of duty here. A little bit similar to Pile 1, but not quite. Pile 1 was more entrepreneur-like, as in like, I'm not going to mess with you kind of thing. Whereas like, and was intimidating. Whereas this, there is a little bit of intimidation here, but it's almost like, I feel like people are more comfortable with this sense of intimidation than they were with Pile 1. With Pile 1, the intelligence was just too intimidating for them. But whereas like this, it's almost like they can relate to this. It's like more people can feel an affinity with working out than they can doing like a master's degree. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's almost like the brawn. The brawn is very much present here. What I mean by that is that people see you as a real formidable, like a strong force, like a strength. In the respect that you would fight it down. Like, you wouldn't let something go. They wouldn't mess with you in that respect. And it's more because they'd just be afraid probably of what you do. Like in a physical sense, you know. You know, for example, like, I'm not saying that you might like go and chase people down or something like that. I'm saying like more of the respect of, you know, if someone was going to say something to you, you would say something back, you know. That's what I get, pile 3. Like, not to mess with you. But I do think that they might come and test you, though. And you kind of enjoy that a little bit as well, I think. Because it adds to your kind of repertoire. You wouldn't be able to be as strong as you were if you weren't able to spar with a few people. Spar means kind of like jostle, kind of fight, so that you can kind of get into the mode of fighting, but you're not quite, you know, you're not fighting. It's just like play fighting kind of thing. Or training in a way. Let's see what your cards have to say. This is interesting. Really interesting. So what does... Wow. Principle. Yeah. Which is Jupiter in Sagittarius. We've also got the 12th house. We have abundance, 9. Interesting. So 2 9s here. And then we've got inferno. Self-destruction, passion and energy. Interesting. I said earth sign, but now I'm feeling like, yeah, that's Sagittarian energy. Very much, actually. Interesting. Yeah, I definitely think that people they wouldn't mess around with you at all. And you're very convincing. You know what's really interesting? What I'm trying to like ascertain what's the difference between you and pile 1, because pile 1, you know, people were intimidated by the intelligence, but whereas like I just feel like people feel like I don't know. I feel like people follow you. People like to come. They follow you. They find it a lot more easier to relate to you, even though you seem like someone that they wouldn't mess around with. They feel abundant with you. They almost feel like what you've done they can achieve. Whereas like with pile 1, it was kind of like, it was almost like like so lofty that it was something that they could never achieve. You know, it's almost like billionaire status. But with the Sentinel, it's kind of like, yeah, I can get by and I can do well within life and I can be successful. The 12th house kind of like tells me that there's this sense that there's a sense of you not really knowing about this path too much. It's almost like you're just kind of like putting one foot in front of the other. And so far things have worked out really well because it's been very beneficial. But that's because you've had like certain doctrines and principles to kind of like stand within. Because what I'm getting is this kind of like with that Hierophant's hat, or that kind of like holy hat, and then that triangle there, and then I'm getting this kind of like cone. So it's almost like we're within these boundaries, and then the Sentinel is about being kind of like within boundaries. But then you've got the 12th house and passion, which are like the most kind of... You can't control an inferno in the 12th house. You have no idea what that is. So it's almost like you are working within structures, but you don't... It's almost like you don't know what the end goal is. You're just putting one foot in front of the other, which is really good because you're living in the moment. And you're in your... This is very fortuitous because Jupiter is ruled by Sagittarius. So it's a very auspicious kind of energy to have. And people feel that. People feel good when they're around you. They feel like, you know, like with it, like, say for example, pile 1, they felt intimidated. Pile 2, they felt nurtured and cared for, and somebody like a mentor that they could go to. They feel like you're like their buddy, like their ultimate buddy. Yeah, like you're the buddy that is the really good buddy to have, because you're the cool one. That's what it feels like. Pile 3. Okay, let's have a look at what the tarot wants to say. So that's what people think of you, and they secretly think of you. So what would they like to tell you? What would people like to say? They're a bit scared. I don't know why. They're not scared. They're just... Okay. Okay. 7 of Swords reversed. I like it because I say scared, and then the cards are like, don't tell me I'm scared. Like, and then they all come out, and I'm like, yes, that's what I want. I only want one. Thank you. Interesting. So they can't be dishonest with you at all. They have to be clear with you. You know what? I've got a feeling that maybe like your own kind of background maybe wasn't so kind of stable. So you've had to make some stability for yourself. This is why. So people who are going to come into your life, they have to be stable. And you provide this kind of sense of home for them in a really beautiful way, in fact. The kind of energy I'm getting is that defensive mother, the one who really like looks after her young, you know, the lioness. What's really interesting is that because we have strength here reversed, it's almost like you help people you remind people of the strength that is kind of there. You remind people of like the lack of, not that you remind them, sorry, you see people as, people see you as, I don't know why I can't get my words out all of a sudden. It's all kind of clogged up like a drain. The vulnerability in them is okay. You let them be vulnerable. That's what I'm seeing with this little deer here, and also with this, because 7 of Swords, when it's reversed, it's almost like, yeah, I did lie. I told the lie. I did what I had to do. You know, I'm a bit of an idiot, you know, for whatever I did. And you allow people to kind of reside within that vulnerability. You allow to see them in that space. In fact, you protect them. I think that's why people feel that they're safe with you, because you can be the person that they goof around with, or that they can do something stupid and you won't look down on them. You won't look badly on them. Even though you do have strong principles and you do stand your ground, you still will accept them, even if they come to you in a state of vulnerability. That's what it is. Okay, I was getting a little bit confused there. And then we've got the Star here, which is reversed. It's almost like you really help them when they're feeling low and down about themselves, because you kind of remind them that abundance is there for everybody, as long as you just kind of make sure that you believe in it yourself, and you encourage them not to rest on their laurels. You encourage them to continue, to keep going. So what they want to say to you is that they find it very difficult to be honest. Well, they find it in spaces where they wouldn't be able to be honest with other people, they can be honest with you. That's what I'm seeing here. That's what I see. Because they feel very vulnerable around you, but they feel okay. With this Mother of Pentacles here, it means that they feel all right while being in these vulnerable states around you. That's what I see. And then this here is kind of saying that you say, no, don't stop. Continue. Keep on going. Keep on going. Keep on doing what you're doing. I wouldn't be surprised if you're like comic relief as well for like some of these people. You know, you're like, you really help people. I'm thinking, do you cause people to feel a lack of strength? I don't think so. I don't think so, pile 3. And do you cause people to like lack hope? I don't think so. I think it's the people who lack strength and lack hope that come to you in order to get it. Because you're just this abundant thing and they don't even know what it is. It's almost like you go to the fire in order to get warm, you know what I mean? Like people come to the fire to gain warmth, to warm themselves by the fire, and that's what you do. You provide that fire and that safety for them to kind of do that. It's interesting, all 3 piles have had like an interesting, like pile 2 was the kind of mentor pile. But this is not a mentorship. This is more, I'm giving you a safe place for you to reassimilate who you are, and then you keep on going. That's what this is. Okay. You encourage people not to take risks and be a little bit more discerning in their choices and a bit more mature in their choices. You may be nurses. You may be, you may be a nurse as well. I may be, because like with pile 2, I was like talking to people that worked within the care, but there was something a little bit different. You may be doctors or nurses, pile 3. Or somebody who's able to manage situations which are absolute bedlam. And you provide stability. This was exactly in the same place as pile 2, actually, but the other way around. Like this was there. Yeah, there's a lot of caretakers here I've got coming to these readings. It's really interesting. And the Star, the Hanged Man. Yeah, you encourage them to like look at things a different way so that they can start to see a better life for themselves or a better like opportunity. This could also be for friends, okay? This doesn't have to be like necessarily for like, oh, you're some kind of like guru or whatever. This can be like for your friends, you know? And how you help them how you lift them up, how they see you. They want you to know that you really help them. You help drive them forward. We've got 3 major arcana here. So we've got 2 major arcana here and 3 here. So there's a lot here that people think that you really help them with, pile 3. You help them see a lot more than, you know, you might realize. Actually, no, there's 4 major arcana here. So there's big stuff here. I think you do some big work, pile 3. I think you do something where you work with people where you are a stable. You are a pillar, you know. You might also be pillars of the community. It's interesting because, so I'll just compare a little bit because I think it might be useful. With pile 2 had the priest, but you've got the sentinel. So it's almost like this sense of like, you don't, I don't know, you're not mentoring people. I think I said that already. You're helping people, you're holding space to allow people to rejuvenate and help themselves, empower themselves again. Whereas a mentor is more this kind of like teaching. So, yeah. Okay, so let's have a look at your other cards, pile 3. So you got the Bobcat and the Blackthorn, which is patience, and it's reversed. I wouldn't normally read these reversed, but they do have reverse meanings, so I'm going to do that. And then you've got the Sun, your perseverance is rewarded. Wow. And then we've got endurance, which is Sun in Scorpio. Lots of solar energy here. Lots of fire energy, even pile 3. Right, okay, so let me just have a quick look at what this is. This is the Bobcat and the Blackthorn, which is, I think it's 40. So, I mean, these blackthorns anyway, they are like, you can make gin out of this actually. It's interesting. If blackthorn berries are plentiful, the coming winter will be severe. Also, reverse, you have acted too hastily and are in over your head. Notice what preparations might have served you and plan more carefully in the future. How might I mentally prepare such that I can survive when supplies are low? Interesting. So Bobcats, it's patience, and it's reversed. So I don't know if like maybe there's like, maybe it's just having patience with the people that kind of come in. Maybe that's what they want you to know. They're like, can you please have a little bit more patience with us, because we're not as, you know, we're not there yet with you. We're not as advanced as you are in a way. Not even advanced, but we're not like, we haven't built up our muscles as much as you have. That's what I feel that they want to say. Patience. I'm a little bit confused by that. But here's your final card. If I can get it up to, there we go. Right, okay, so this is Anathra, victory and conquest. Contain your temper if fulfillment is what you seek. Interesting. Integrating yourself will be your best asset. I was like, please, can this card give me a little bit more insight into that? So you've got Mars, and then you've also got the moon as well in the sign of Cancer. So what I'm getting from this, right, is, and honestly, this is just my experience, okay? So don't, just take it or leave it. Take what resonates, discard the rest. Sagittarians, whenever I'm asked to describe a Sagittarian is somebody who just kind of like bursts into a room, and they just kind of like, they're on a horse and they're like kind of charging on this horse, and or they are the horse, they're essential, right? So they just kind of charge into this space and they're like, I'm here and hi everyone, hope you're doing really well. And then they realize, they turn around and they've kind of like torched the whole like place, where they've like come in a blaze of fire, and they're like, oh, okay, never mind. And then they'll continue, and they'll be like, yes, spreading their gloriousness, spreading their glory and their beauty all around. That's what I think of when I think of Sagittarians, because they're just incredible beings, very powerful beings. But sometimes that can be, and I think that when you're young as well, I think it's very different compared to like now. You might be an older Sagittarian and that might not be the way, but as a younger Sagittarian, it's very much like about, they're very kind of, I wouldn't say feisty, it's kind of like sparky energy. And they are the fighters. They're very Knight of Wands, quite literally. They're sparky. But without that spark and that inferno, they wouldn't be able to do what they needed to do. And that's very inspiring for people. And creates that space for people to like be able to do what they want to do. But the thing is, though, I am just seeing that with this, like this patience, it's like maybe they're like, can you like give us a chance to catch up with you? Is that okay? And I think you may lose patience. So this is saying that you will be rewarded in your perseverance with people. If you have been losing your patience with people around you, they will come through. They will do. They're trying their best. That's what they're saying. they're trying their best to kind of not live up to your standards, but just try and meet you, you know, where you are. Like, whereas like pile 1, they were just too scared and they were like, I'm not even going to try. Whereas like at least these guys are like, okay, we want to try and at least like see if you'll meet us halfway kind of thing. Because I don't know, I just feel like you're so much more approachable. So yeah, it's just really interesting. I hope that made some sense. Anyway, my darlings, I hope you enjoyed that reading. If you liked it, please do give it a thumbs up. Please do subscribe for more videos. But otherwise, my darlings, have a beautiful, beautiful day. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. And I shall see you in the next reading. Take care and remember that honesty is always key. Bye.